Dennis Addo. I'm a physician and a health consultant. I've worked in the public sector for some time. I work in the United Nations in the military, and now shifting more to the private sector. And in the private sector, I come up with a corporate health company called Claron Health International. And basically what we do is we're trying to build the biggest healthcare brand in the whole of Africa. And we are trying to do that through innovation, technology, and then also being more compassionate to people on the ground. So we started more or less from the top up, where we get corporates to at least adopt one healthy practice into their whole business, if it's in a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, and also to take more care of their staff, because you realize most people is about profit and they really don't take care of the health needs of their staff. People come to work and they are not productive, and they are also what they call presenteeism. People come and sit there and they just come and their level of productivity is low because of healthcare. And so it's something that we want to bring to the conscious attention of the corporate world to do more for their own workers and staff, to empower them to take control of their health. And also, as you know, in Africa, most of our challenges used to be infectious diseases, like malaria, HIV, tuberculosis. But now there's been a shift in the last 5-10 years. I mean, in Ghana, hypertension rates is about 40%. It used to be less than 5% about a decade ago. That shows that we still need to do a lot. It means that we are becoming more westernized. Our diet is changing. We don't exercise. There's a lot of stress. So it's something that we want to address. We want to do a lot of health education, health promotion to empower people to actually take control of their health. Yeah. So our objective is to basically grow and expand. We've spent the last few years cementing ourselves in the space. What we found when we started was the fact that in Ghana and in Africa, one of the customer service is very poor, and people were taking people for granted in terms of customer service. We've managed to overcome that. We've built a culture of the customer first, that sense of urgency in all our staff. So we believe the next step for us at Claron next year is to grow and expand first in Ghana. We want to go to other cities like Takoradi and Kumasi and Tamale, which are the big cities in Ghana, and eventually move to other African countries. We have Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone in mind, and even East Africa as well. So I think next year is very exciting for us. We want to replicate our healthcare model all across Africa, and also bring some of the positive things we are doing all over in Africa. Sure. The three things that are crucial for us to achieve this growth that we are looking for next year, I'll put it into the categories of, number one is talent. We need a lot of talent and people who can actually help us to drive the agenda ahead. Like I've talked about, is human resources. It's very, very important. We also need support from government in terms of enabling environment. It will shock you to know that in Ghana, the cost of doing business is very high, and most businesses, they don't get any support. For instance, in the UK, they have these incubators. In the US, business support. Even in Kenya, they have business incubators and support for businesses. And that support is lacking. So, for instance, even at Claron, we pay a huge chunk of our income on expenses like electricity and water and things that we believe we can invest to do other things. So I think we need a lot of support. I mean, not necessarily government giving cash to us or anything, but at least if you make the enabling environment for growth. For instance, there could be a challenge where government will say, okay, if you employ about every 10 people you employ, I'm going to give you a tax break or an incentive for you to grow. So it will encourage more of us to employ more people and then train more people to be able to achieve the growth. As it stands now, there's no support. You start your own business, you are left to your own fate, and you are left to survive or die. So I think we need more support, and then I'm sure we are going to get there as well. And the third thing I would want to probably talk about is also about training. It's also something that is actually lacking. I think there's a lot of opportunity for, we've talked about the diasporans, to come and set up a lot of training institutions. For instance, people would take things like sales for granted. And if you get people who are doing sales academies, sales training, I think it will really empower people to do a lot. And also, I mean, human resources and a lot of, I think we need a lot of training. And I think people must stand up and then do a lot of quality training. Look at the graduates that we are churning out from the universities. It's all mainly about books, and also all of us know now entrepreneurship is not mainly about, it's about the practical skills. And actually I think there should be more training and also practical guidance even for graduates, where there will be like attachment programs for people who have completed their courses. And I think it will help us a lot if these things were available. You don't need to send people all the way outside Ghana to just get trained in very good skills and others. So I think we need these skills down here. Yeah. So I think I look at this forum as the beginning steps or the initial steps where a conversation has been started. One thing that I think we don't do much here in Africa, if we don't tell our story and if we don't document our stories, I think it dies out. So a lot of people like myself are doing a lot of wonderful things, but these are not documented. And I think one of the things like we're doing in this conversation, I believe that what the Harvard Alumni Forum can do is to help young entrepreneurs who are coming up to tell our stories. That's what we need to do, and through these stories we can get a lot of collaborations, both locally and internationally. So I think it's an exciting forum that has been started, and I think the focus of the Harvard Africa Alumni should be to help young and emerging entrepreneurs to tell their stories on the global stage. And I think, once they do that, all the linkages should be formed naturally. Yeah. My commitment is to do my bit in terms of helping to improve the healthcare in Africa. Like I said, we are trying to build the biggest healthcare brand in Africa, and I believe that if you're able to achieve that, it's something I'm very passionate about and committed about. I think everybody have the right to live healthy and achieve their dreams and aspirations. And I think this should not be denied in any way. And my commitment is to make sure that everybody in Africa is able to live this healthy life and achieve their dreams and aspirations. Without good health, you cannot do anything. So I think that is what I'm passionate about, yeah. So I would reimagine Africa as a continent where people live longer. Life expectancies have gone up. Like saying life expectancy in Africa, for most countries, is currently below 50, compared to countries in Europe where life expectancy is about 75. Japan, people live to about 85 years and above. They just increase their retirement age to about 70. So if Africans are able to live healthy and increase our life expectancy, I believe we can do a lot for the continent. Currently, there's a lot of mortality from all sort of things that are preventable, and on top of that, we are having all these chronic diseases. So I believe I want to reimagine an Africa where people live longer, people live more healthy, and people live more empowered and fulfilled lives. Yeah. Okay, so as I transition from being in the consulting room to being an entrepreneur and on the field, what I need more is to get sort of more venture capitals and more network and links for people to come in and more or less support us in terms of our vision. It's not something we can do on our own. I think we need the support we can get from these venture capital funds, angel investors and all that, who would want to come in and sort of who believe in the vision and then want to help us to drive that vision away. So I think it's something that is very exciting, and I encourage anybody who want to have a similar passion, want to achieve their dreams, not be afraid. They say nothing better happens in your comfort zone. I've been in the comfort zone room where I'm very comfortable, but I think it's time to step out of the consulting room and move out to do more and make an impact in the lives of other people as well. So I think we need more support, and we can get there, sure. So first of all, I just want to thank the organizers of the Harvard Africa Alumni Forum for starting the conversation and bringing this forum right down to Accra. And I think it's very exciting, and I want them to continue. At least once a year, we can do this forum and bring all the diverse group of people, head of states, people in government, people in academia, people in the private sector, to sit down and talk and network. I think that's the best way to go, and through that, we can achieve a lot, yes.